Good evening. Britain is heading for more frequent extreme weather in the years ahead, based on the latest findings by the Met Office. 2012 was the second wettest year in the UK since records began more than a century ago. And experts confirm that the trend for extreme rainfall with floods, disruption and damaged crops is set to increase, as our science editor David Shukman explains.
Oh dear!
It was a year of violent extremes. Wild, destructive weather that claimed lives, wrecked homes and disrupted travel, with record rain falling across many parts of the country. It's hard to remember, but the year began with drought, cracked earth and fears about too little rain. But then the heavens opened. The Jubilee River pageant endured miserable conditions even at the height of summer, and worse was to follow. The UK, on average, gets just over 1,100 millimetres of rain every year. Last year, it got more than 1,300. That makes 2012 the second wettest year on record. And the Met Office says this could be a sign of things to come.
We know that we've had some pretty heavy rainfall and that our infrastructure is struggling with it. So we have to take this seriously, because it is what our fundamental physics tells us ought to happen as the planet warms, and we see it in other parts of the world.
This borehole at the Hydrology Centre at Wallingford in Oxfordshire is used to check how much water is lying underground. Well, lift the lid and you get the answer. There's been so much rain that the ground is saturated to bursting point, with water even flowing back up to the surface, which means there's the risk of even more flooding.
This is purely a measure of...
Scientists are amazed at the scale of what's happened. From the country being bone dry only last March to being totally saturated now, something that's never been recorded before.
All of the spaces in the soil are completely full up with water. There's no more air, so there's nowhere else for the water to go. Given that we've got that situation, any more rain onto the surface of that soil will not be absorbed. It will have to run off, it will run downhill, and of course it will cause flooding as that water accumulates.
The big driver is the jet stream, the high-altitude wind that guides weather systems across the Atlantic. Too far south and it brings low pressure our way with lots of storms. One factor may be the melting of Arctic ice, another the warming of the Atlantic. No one is quite sure. Scientists are checking how the rain has flowed underground, and they found water levels have risen faster than at any time since records began in the 1830s.
In those 180 years of records, we haven't seen a combination of a summer and a winter like the one we're seeing at the moment. So it's really taking us into uncharted territory, especially in how the groundwater is going to respond to these heavy rainfall events.
As an island on the edge of an ocean, Britain has always had volatile weather. But warmer air can hold more moisture, so there is a risk of heavier rainstorms in future. Conditions that now seem extreme may start to become more normal. David Shukman, BBC News.
Well, many households and businesses are still trying to clear up after last month's heavy rain. Thousands of homes were flooded, and farmers are struggling to protect their crops in saturated land, as we heard there. Our correspondent Jeremy Cook reports now from the village of Severnstoke in Worcestershire.
It's a bit of a roundabout way to get into the bar, isn't it?
More extreme weather will mean more of this. The Rose and Crown is still underwater from the torrential downpour in the last weeks of last year. The floodwaters poured in as Christmas lunch was being served, diners dashing for the exits before the cheese and coffee could be served. Now, this family business is in deep water.
It's a big financial loss, to be honest with you. The bank have given us a loan to get us through.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
The challenge now is to establish how much scenes like these remain exceptional, how much all of this is becoming the new norm. And the indications are that perhaps all of us should brace ourselves for much more flooding in the years to come. A fact that farmer Stephen Watkins must live with. He expects his riverside land to flood, sometimes. But when we met him last summer, fields of potatoes were submerged. And today, well, today, things are even worse. Now it's winter crops underwater. All of this means potentially higher food prices for us all. And down on the farm, the losses are stacking up.
We've got currently about 850 acres underwater at the moment, which is obviously a lot more than I would like to see. And that will run into hundreds of thousands of pounds in terms of damage, but also the significant extra cost that we have of picking up all the rubbish that we can see behind us. That takes a lot of man-hours.
The weather in 2012 was exceptionally bad, flooding in places where there'd been no such problems for decades. Houses in North Tyneside, more than a mile from the river, fell victim, the sheer volume of rain overwhelming the drainage system.
It's absolutely devastating. You just don't think, you never thought it would happen here, not in a million years. And there's loads of cleaning up to do, and you just got to start from scratch, everything brand new.
The government says it's planning for more flooding. At the Rose and Crown, they'd settle for a period of dry weather. Jeremy Cook, BBC News, Worcestershire.